What's going on, everybody? This is Clark Beckham. We are going into Top 40 Part 1 in Hawaii. To start off, we have Nick Mariko, and let me just say, I'm kind of embarrassed because I have been saying this guy's name wrong the whole time. I feel like a country hick. I've been calling him Nick Mariko this whole time. And so, you know, egg on my face, Nick Mariko is his name, and he did pretty well.
Our friends talking about you, all it does is just tear me down.
When he started singing, I was like, whoa, that's the best I've heard him. He sounded great, looked great as always, and didn't quite finish as strong, but had some notes, some really nice timbre in his voice. We're really gonna see what America thinks of him, which I'm super interested. How the producers and how the shows kind of treated him and shown him to everybody is super interesting. I think they showed the arrogant, cocky side at the very beginning in his audition. But I think they've also showed him as, and he's presented himself as humble and not that guy. We'll see what America thinks whenever voting does happen. Dewayne Crocker Jr. with Old Town Road. Where did this guy come from? He was awesome. He might be my favorite performance of the entire night. It is Old Town Road, a song that I hate, and he made me love it. One thing that can't be missed, Dewayne is doing his own melody here, and it's really cool, and it works really well. It's showing off his voice. Got no stress, I'll get through all that. I'm like a marble man, so I get going back. Perfect song choice, great performance. I was very impressed. I want to know who's doing the arrangements. This song was really dope. He said at the very beginning he was putting a reggae spin on it. I didn't get reggae at all. My favorite performer on the show might be the bass player. Dude with the big fro. They have him in the mix, really nice, and he sounds awesome. A lot of these substitutions at the end for Old Town Road were just him. The song's in B flat. Instead of playing a B flat, everybody else plays a B flat, but the bass player takes the third. So in a chord, there's 1, 3, and 5. It's called a triad, tri-3. 1, 3, and 5. And everybody usually just plays the 1, because that's the root of the chord. That's what makes the chord the chord. But at the end, when it starts getting high, the bass player doesn't play the 1, he plays the 3. I'm gonna take my horse to the Old Town Road. I'm gonna ride till I can't go more. And it adds so much. And I wonder if Dewayne said to do that, the MD, maybe one of the vocal coaches, the arrangement coaches, or if it was just the bass player, like, hey man, how about this? And just gave him some extra sauce. Camryn Leigh Smith, ouch, that hurt. That hurt right here. I hate to see her go. I'm such a fan of hers and she's got such a great voice, but the reality is the song choice wasn't quite right. She did it well. I mean, she did everything she could in that song. And I'm not saying it because it was a Christian song, which you could debate. So Katy Perry said something like, you need to do a song that applies to everyone. Break Every Chain is very clearly a song about the Christian faith, which is, side note, all-inclusive and is for everyone. Is very Jesus, 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 and not everyone is down with Jesus. That was Katie's point, and I see what she's saying. But for me, I think she could have done a Christian song and just picked a better one. The Lauren Daigle song that people have sang, that's a Christian song. It's about God, and it's a beautiful song. It's lyrically deep, and the chords are nice, and melody moves around. This song stays the same the whole time. There is power in the name of Jesus. That's pretty much the whole song. There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power in the name of Jesus to break every chain, break every chain, break every chain. Very repetitive. It's hard to go somewhere with this. There's not a lot of melodic movement when you're just kind of repetitive like that. I don't think it was the right song choice. Even if it was another Christian or another gospel song, maybe it would have worked, but there's an army rising up, there's an army rising up, there's an army rising up. And the band was killing. They were doing the Tasha Cobbs version with hits, but it's just the judges and the producers have to trust the contestant to pick a good song, because unlike any other show, American Idol gives the final word on all things creative to the contestant. That is crazy. No other show that I know of does that. And that's why, again, American Idol is the best show that's ever been for any artist competition. But with that freedom, they've got to pick the contestants that they trust to curate a show that's going to have great songs, great moments, and a song with a melody that kind of repeats. It's just not the best choice. And when she showed that lack of judgment, it's one of the traits they look for on a top 10 type contestant is, are you going to pick a good song or are you going to not? But I do think it's an interesting conversation people are going to bring up is, did they cut her because she sang a Christian song? I don't think so, really. Not because it's a Christian song. When I was on the show, was very clear about my faith, candidly, just with everybody around. I never sang a Christian song as far as genre goes, but everybody's cool with that. People ask me back at church, like, brother, was there persecution that you suffered for the name of the Lord? Not really. They're cool with it. So I don't think they have any like hesitation. And Katie was praying for one of the contestants as she was walking off stage, like, God give her strength. So I don't think there's any bias or anything going on. I just think it was a bad song choice. But that one hurt. I did not want to see her leave, and that hurt to watch. Then we got to a part of the show where they showed 3 contestants in a row: Devon Alexander, Jordan Jones, and Geena. All 3 of them did well. Devon didn't quite do as well as he did last week. Again, they didn't give him a lot of help on the production side, which is not their job. You need to go in there and sing where they don't have to touch your vocal and everyone thinks you're great and it sounds amazing. That's what your job is as a contestant to do. But they certainly didn't help him out with any tuning, and the mix wasn't great. It just didn't sound great. But when it came to Jordan Jones, why do I not know who this guy is? Jordan Jones was a freaking pro. Great song, was really vibing well. And then Geena, same thing. She came out, looked like a star, sounded great, performed very well. We've got some crazy performers, not just great singers, but performers on the season. And then they all went through to the judgment and they all 3 got cut. I was surprised, especially with Geena and Jordan. I thought they killed, and I guess the judges just weren't really interested. When they have someone perform that you haven't seen in like 3 weeks and they don't sound amazing, it's a good sign they're going home. Because the people that have made it all the way through, they're going to want to highlight those people throughout the show because they want you to be familiar with the final 20, with the people that you're going to vote for, which is just good television, just wise producing. So when you're unfamiliar with someone who comes up, odds are against them. And then if they don't do killer, it's pretty much just a clear sign that they're not going to make it. When these 3 contestants got cut, you saw a lot of reactions from the contestants that were waiting to hear their judgment. And it points out that it really is hard when you're going through cuts like this. They go from 40 to 20. And when you spend all that time together with these contestants and these other talented people that are your age and that are also going through this crazy experience, you're all experiencing it together in Hawaii, you're spending off days together, travel days, becoming fans of each other, you're texting. It's a legitimate bond that people question, like, really, are the contestants really that close? Are they really friends though? Because they're competing against each other, so they can't be that close. Closest friends I have in my entire life are the contestants on American Idol when I was on, and I haven't talked to them in a long time. But I'm telling you that it's just a unique bond that you get with these people, and when they get cut, it is a legitimate heartbreak. So when you see that, that is not put on. That hurts. Francisco Martin. What a star. Oh my gosh. This dude's full of nerves and then comes on stage and dude looks like a bona fide superstar when he plays. The guitar part at the beginning even, it seems simple, but it's so hard to just nail a guitar part intro when you're by yourself. You've got all the nerves, you're thinking about singing. He nailed it. No buzzes, no nothing. And then he sounded amazing. I mean, he sounded like $1 million. Something that he's really good at is finding moments in songs, little dynamics, and just hits them perfectly.
And there's no one to blame but the drink and my wanderings. What am I now? What am I now?
Not necessarily like crazy notes or runs or any of these theatrical stuff. Just finds little soft moments and just dynamics of the song and just executes them perfectly. It makes you just fall in love. He looks great. His face is relaxed. His vibrato is nice. His tone is controlled. The vowel placement, it's just everything is spot on. Absolute pro. There's a handful of pro level performers on this season. Jovan is one of them. Francisco is another one. Louie's great. Speaking of Jovan and Louie, when we hear their performances, sounds great. There's nothing wrong with their performances. And then you hear the judges talk about it, and then you hear the contestant, Louie or Jovan themselves, say like, oh man, I don't know if I missed, I don't know, like didn't feel great. And then the judges are all talking like that was one of your weakest performances. And it just goes back to the tuning thing, man. I mean, you just don't even know. You don't even know. Louie sang, I was like, yeah, that's as good as I've ever heard him. And then they're all talking about how weak his performance was. I'm just confused when it comes to Louie. But I will say, for Louie's performance tonight, actually was the first time I watched him perform and go, oh, I get it. I get it. Like, could this guy be a star? Yeah. Yeah, he could. I mean, truly, in the music industry, like I really think he can. And I think that's what the producers see. I think that's what the judges see. And I'm seeing it. I mean, he's such a pleasant guy. He's good looking. He sings well. The way that the accent comes across in his singing voice is nice. I could see it. I still don't think he's close vocally to people like Francisco and Jovan and Robert, Michaela, Sophia, Johnny West. I mean, I think he's vocally on the bottom end, but guess what? I'm talking about him again. Everyone's talking about him. That's a star quality. We can't stop talking about him, whatever it is. So I'm not forsaking that. I've seen that as well. So he's a very interesting case. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does. Just Sam sang a song in Spanish. I think the judges aren't being quite consistent with everybody. Now let me say, Just Sam did great. She sang the song, sounded awesome, just like every song she sings, and she looked great, moving well and showing that side of her off. I mean, you can't go against it. Did I think it was the best performance of the night? Was I standing up out of my chair like Katy Perry was? Yes, it's impressive that she can sing a song in another language, but was I losing my mind vocally? No. Not like I was last week. They love her and they are pushing her hard. I'm just saying I could see another contestant that would do that song, nail it, and they would say, why are you singing in Spanish? But with Just Sam, it's, wow, that's impressive. I can't believe you sing Metamorphosis. Wow, you can do anything. But Just Sam has earned that favoritism through the whole show. She's earned it because every time she comes on stage, she just crushes. So she's gonna have favoritism towards the producers and towards the judges when she does stuff like that. If someone who they're on the fence with does a Spanish song, it might not work so well. If someone they're in love with and they feel like they have a good understanding for who they are and what they offer, and then they pull off a Spanish song and crush it, they're gonna react differently to that person, which is, you know, what we're seeing. I just wasn't crazy about it. Jonny West, my boy J-Dub. I love Jonny West. I'm a fan. I've made that clear. And I'm as big of a fan or bigger now. There's something special about Jonny that makes America fall in love with him. And it's a couple things. It's his very unassuming, humble charm. And also when he sings, this cannot be overlooked. When he sings, his face is totally relaxed and his eyes are open and looking right out to the camera and to the audience the entire time.
Why'd you have to wait? Where were you? Where were you?
That cannot be overlooked. That is so effective. I struggle with that so much. I said that in the comments and someone said, do you not have a pretty face when you sing? And I don't. I grimace and close my eyes and look around. He is totally relaxed, looking right out. And doesn't matter how high he's singing, no strain on his face. That's effective. And it makes you just fall in love with him because his eyes are open. You're making that connection with him. And then he kills it and sounds the way he does. Like Katie said, she understands why Margie's obsessed with him. And so do I. During Jonny West's judgment, Katie said some stuff and I was like, oh, Katy Perry with some deep thoughts here.
I think you're a real serious artist.
Thank you.
That can also mean that you probably seriously have some real intense thoughts.
Ooh, that's a great point. Someone who's a very serious, introspective artist, the art that comes out of them because of their introspectiveness, from that same method of introspection, of just looking within, can come a lot of just getting in your head and a lot of weight, comparisons, and just a lot of extra thoughts. And she kind of keyed in on that and said, you can't self-sabotage. I thought that was golden. And then Lionel Richie comes in with another Lionel wisdom nugget and says, as artists, as performers, we are egotistical maniacs with an inferiority complex. Nailed it. We have a high sense of self-confidence and a very low sense of self-worth. We're highly confident in the things that we can do because we have to do them to prove our worth. And I think that's kind of what Lionel's touching on here. Good notes, some wisdom there, and they let him through. Jonny is in our top 20. No surprise by me. I think he's awesome. I swear to you, I started tearing up every time I saw Margie in the audience cheering for him. That is just such a, it's just, they're getting me. If they're trying to do it on purpose, I'm falling for it. And they're getting me right here. They're getting me in the heart, in the feels. And finally, we're going to end with Dillon James. I like the guy. I like his attitude and his humility and his gentleness. A lot of times when you see people come out of drugs and alcohol and some addictions and some heavy stuff in the past, they are gentle and sweet and kind, and that's what I see from Dillon, and I like it. I like him. I don't think his performance was as good as they made it seem. I thought he did fine. They were tuning his vocal, so who knows what he sounded like, but I mean, sounded good to me. I'll also bet you $1 jillion that he makes it through. At the end of the credits, they leave us hanging, and we don't know if he made it through. They're about to tell him, and then of course, in American Idol fashion, they go to credits, and they show him crying and saying, I'm sorry, and he's got tears going down his face. This is why I guarantee he made it through. This is a strong dude, level headed, been through a lot, strong guy. I don't think he's gonna take rejection like that. I think if they told him, sorry, it's the end of the road, I think he'd take it like a champ, better than anybody in the show. He'd be like, thank you so much, I understand. He'd just keep moving on. Do I think he'd cry like that if he didn't make it? I don't think so. And they tuned his vocal. So he's for sure gonna make it. For sure gonna make it. If he doesn't make it, I will do the next episode in my pajamas. Joke's on you, I'm always in my pajamas, hashtag quarantine. I will do the next episode with blacked out teeth. It's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. He's gonna make it through. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you dig it. And let's talk in the comments about what you think of the show. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, just your thoughts. Anything I missed, let me know. See you next week.